Also, just get your team news ahead of the first leg. How's your squad looking?
Yeah, well, we've no new injuries. Ross Matthews is back available. He's been out probably since the last Dunfermline game, actually. So he's back available for us, and we have no new injuries. So really, Frankie Masonda is the one who's missing from normal kind of squads. He's been out for the last 3 or 4 games, and his season's finished with his knee injury that he's got. So Ian Davison is probably someone that you're going to ask me about with regards to the red card and the sending off. So we've appealed that, and such is the situation that there's a bank holiday that his hearing will not be until Wednesday. So he will be available for tomorrow night.
Great. I mean, that must be a big boost. He needs his experience sort of going into a game of this magnitude.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, we Frankie is probably the one who would normally be kind of like vying for positions with like Davo and Kyle Benedictus. So the other night there, we played Fernande, and he's an option for us if in fact anything goes astray. And we've got young Nathan as well. So we've got some options, but we certainly want the experience of Ian Davison, and it's a boost to have him available.
In terms of the sort of previous record against the Dunfermline season, I mean, the games have been, you had a 2-2 draw, then it's 4-1 defeat and a 5-1 win. I mean, it's I don't know if it's willing to say it's a tight affairs or it's they're wide open. How do you see the sort of match up with Dunfermline this season?
I think you could expect goals based on that. I think both teams are very attacking minded. Hopefully that'll be the same over the next 2 games. 4 goals in the first game, 5 in the second, 6 in the third game. Probably no be one for the faint-hearted if there's enough of goals in it. If it's a nip and tuck kind of affair. But I think it's fantastic that probably couldn't have written the script any better. From quarterfinals, playoffs, 5 derby. Everyone will be up for it. The only downside is that unfortunately, like all season, there's not been any fans coming in, because this would have been a sellout in both, home and away. It would have been a sellout, an absolute sellout. This would certainly have got the fans out, So it's a pity that they're not going to be there. It would have certainly added to the atmosphere. But I think there's a good game in store, and based on that, as you say, a good 2-2 draw. We were 2-0 up. They came back. Then they were convincing winners at East End. We were convincing winners here. So it's like anyone's game.
So, Judge, just lastly for me, just in terms of form, I mean, losing to Dundee and obviously then Dundee snatching second place with the result at Hearts, is that any concern for you going into this game that just morale might have sort of slipped a wee bit before? What is that, again, a very important game for you?
Yeah, I think you've just got to put that aside, really. We came into these games in good form. There were always going to be hard games. Though Dundee away was always going to be a difficult game. We actually did fine in that game. We did well. There was nothing in the game whatsoever. Hearts are a very strong side, playing without any pressure. They played particularly well. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot. So, yeah, it's a couple of defeats. But I think from our season, from what we've done all season, we can afford to put that on the back burner. We're pleased to be in 3rd place in the league. We're pleased to be in the playoffs, and we've kind of got over Friday night, and we're ready to go.
Cheers. Hi, John. I'm Ivana, by the way.
Hi, Ivana.
Just on that, how easy is it? Is it fine for the boys to put that Hearts defeat aside because it was so soon, it was so recent, and they'll be up? This is a long journey, hopefully, towards promotion for yourselves. How do they kind of reset themselves for that?
Yeah, I think you just got to take it with regards to the enormity of this game coming up. It's going to focus the players completely. You just never know in football. It might actually turn out being a good thing. That we've got our feet on the ground. If we came into with 2 wins, we may have been confidence, but maybe complacency could maybe have sneaked in. So I don't see that being an issue. So I think we've firmly got our feet on the ground. We know what we've got to do. We don't have any fears because we know we can do it. So I'm not going to prolong the agony of Friday night and keep going over it. We've kind of put it to the side. We've went over it on Friday night. We didn't really touch it very much over the weekend. We've been in since then, we've been looking at Dunfermline, and this is our whole focus, and our whole season now rests on these 2 games. So basically, everything's in the past, we're very much focusing on now and going forward, and that's where we are. We've trained well. It doesn't seem to affect the players in any way at all. Yeah, we were disappointed on Friday night, but you've got to put it behind you and look forward, and that's what we've done.
You were saying there earlier about the number of goals that's been scored, in the games between yourselves. Is that something you'll be focusing on then, is tightening up the defence in terms of legs at the back, and yet still remaining, as you said, like an attacking side?
Yeah, I mean, that's been us all season. I like to think we're an attractive team to watch. We play good football, and we try to score as many goals as we can. Our goals against column could always be better. So you're trying to get the balance right all the time. It's all about balance. So, over the course of the 27 games, it would show that we've managed to get that balance right enough to finish third in the league. So we're now down into quarterfinals. It's 2 games, knockout, so we're always striving to get better. We're always striving to, entertain, attack, but at the same time trying to keep the back door closed as best as we can. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge for us, and that's what we're trying to do.
And then just lastly from me, you mentioned it slightly there earlier in one of your answers. How confident are you that you can get promoted? I mean, 2 games for the quarterfinal, it's a long way to kind of seek promotion. What's the confidence like?
Yeah, I don't think it's been done, actually. I think the only team that's done it was Hamilton, I think, and that was maybe from 2nd position. So it's not been done. So that in itself is a challenge, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? We're getting ourselves the opportunity to do that. And we know we've shared the results with Dunfermline, so they'll probably not fear us. We don't fear them. So anything can happen. Similarly with Dundee, we had a draw up at Dens Park early in the season. We beat them at Starks Park. They beat us just recently. Nothing in it, absolutely nothing to fear. Dundee will not fear us, we don't fear them. It's going to be breaks on the day. It's going to be like, somebody who's having a team that's actually played particularly well on the night, get the breaks, get the decisions, go and you just wee breaks. It'll be fine margins as usual in a championship game, and we know what we can do. We know we can beat Dunfermline, we know we can beat Dundee. If we're very, very fortunate enough to get to that situation, then where we're going to come up against a Premiership team, whoever that may be, we're going to go into it on the end of a really, really good season and on a high. They're probably coming in it with all the pressure on them and thinking about, if we don't win this game, we're going to have to make cutbacks and people will lose their jobs and all that negativity, and we'll be in there really very confident. So there's a lot of football to get played, but we're very happy to be in the mix.
It's a wee bit different, this game. It's obviously the 2-leg affair. How do you approach it? Do you go for the win in the first leg, or do you camp up and shut up shop? How do you approach it?
We approach it like every other game that we've played this season, home and away. We're going to go and play our football. We're going to hopefully that will get us through. It is over 2 legs. You're 100% right. Obviously, we could win this tie in the first minute of the first game, or we could win it in the last minute of the last game. It's very much about getting through. But we can repeat myself from earlier. We are an attacking team. We're not going to change the way we play. We're not going to come away from that. That's what's got us here. If we were to do something different now and it went pear-shaped, you would be saying, why did we change that? Because we are what we are, and we've got where we are because of that. We've played good football. We're going to try and do that at East End Park. We know if we can do that, then we'll cause Dunfermline problems, and then we'll still have them to come back here. I don't think the game will be finished in one game anyway. I think it will take 2 games. I think it will be so open that there will be goals, and as I say, there'll be probably a few highs and lows throughout the 2 games. But it's certainly a mouth-watering tie. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
John, you've been involved in a million of these derby matches through the years, and a roller coaster of emotions either way, haven't you? But is this potentially the biggest 2 derby clashes you've been involved in, with the rewards at stake?
Yeah, without doubt, yeah. We have beaten Dunfermline in a Scottish Cup tie not so long ago. So that was probably the biggest game in that particular time because of the significance of being a Scottish Cup tie. But this takes on, even more with regards to an opportunity to get our club back to the Premiership. This is the dangle of a carrot. This is what's up at stakes, and so it's massive, absolutely massive. And you've got to grasp these opportunity with two hands. We've got to make sure we can play our football, apply ourselves, leave nothing on the pitch whatsoever. We've got to try and get through these two games, and hopefully we're looking forward to playing Dundee home and away, and then hopefully against a Premiership team. As you say, it's different. The stakes are massive, and everyone knows that. Everyone knows that at Raith Rovers and Starks Park, and likewise, along the road at East End and Dunfermline, it's massive. They want to get back to the Premiership, and so do we.
You've got the 5-1 from recently, John, but is it good that you've also got the 4-1 defeat over at East End to kind of temper that a wee bit going over there?
It certainly balances it off, and that's what I'm saying. They're probably not a fault between the teams, with regards to the 2-each draw, then a convincing win for them, a convincing win for ourselves in the last derby game. We go into that. So we've got to make sure that probably like we were smarting a little bit, want to try and get back, that the opposite happens. Obviously Dunfermline will be feeling a little bit, let's get back at them. So we've got to be prepared and be ready for that. I would imagine that it'll be a different type of game. I don't think Dunfermline allow us to be so dominant. So we've got to be prepared for anything and everything. Every game is different. You just never know exactly how they're going to turn out, and it can turn on a decision. So you've got to be prepared, and that's what we've been trying to do over the last 3 days since Friday night to get prepared for this game. We do a lot in the analysis. We went over the analysis. We went over, what we would normally do. So we feel that we're prepared well enough and ready for this game.
John, it's been a wee while since there's been a Fife club, Dunfermline or Raith in the top flight. Would you see that as a bit of a shame, given you talked about the kind of crowds you can get, the clubs that are in the area, and it's been a wee while. It would be nice to change that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, obviously, it's been a long time since Raith Rovers have been there, but that is the ambition, that is a desire, that's what we want to achieve, and this is what the players have done all season, and that's why we're getting this opportunity, because they've played so well and they've done their talking and they've played their football on the pitch, and they're there on merits. So yeah, it would be massive. It would be absolutely massive. But the dangle of the carrot is there. Every bit so much for Dunfermline and obviously Dundee. They've been in the Premier League more recently than ourselves. So from our point of view, what an achievement. What an achievement this could be if we can do it. You talk about legendary status, and it probably would be to get the club back there under they've been through and over a period of time and been in League One, and could you actually do a back-to-back promotion, to come up to League One, to go in and go straight back into the Premiership? It is dream come true stuff, but the reality is that we're here, and we're here with no fears, no fears whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, it would be great to think that we would be having fans next season at Ibrox, Celtic Park, Tynecastle, Easter Road, McDermott Park, Firhill, you name it,
People maybe forget, the kind of history of life and football, and that working class history of the game and what it's given, and it seems, as I say, that there is a lot to it. You've still got that potential to, when you see some of the teams that are in the Premiership as it is, it's still got that huge potential. Yeah,
without doubt. I mean, it's not for me to say this club is bigger than that club and what have you. That would be a little bit disrespectful, because I think that everyone, more often than not, is there on merit. What you've done, you've got into a league because you've been successful. You've either won the league or you've got promoted through playoffs. And so, yeah, I mean, we all have our own sort of ideas and who are the biggest 12 clubs in Scotland and who would fit into that. And would Dundee and Dunfermline fit into that? Then, yeah, probably they would, because the history and the fan base that they've got. But then you throw Partick Thistle in the mix, and you throw Falkirk in the mix, and then there's a cry for a 16-team league. And now we're talking about a different debate altogether, but that's where we are, so it's not for me to say that this club shouldn't be in the league and that club shouldn't be in the league. It's up to you do it on the pitch. And probably last year was the only one in probably all our living times where that, didn't necessarily happen, and it was due to, obviously the situation. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going over it again, but we're just happy to be in that situation. We've got an opportunity. We've got to try and grasp it with both hands.
John, with that history of the Dundee and Dunfermline, you're saying it's been a while since Rovers have been in the top flight. Is the pressure more on them to get up than you guys?
But again, absolutely no doubt about that. No doubt about that. They've probably put more money into their budget, you know, probably got more liability by not maybe going up, you know. So absolutely no doubt, but it doesn't make our desire and hunger any weaker. You know, I'm ambitious. I want to manage in the Premier League and the Premiership. If you're a player, you usually want to play in that. And our guys have got that opportunity. So as much as I think the pressure is on these teams, I don't think we should just say that for Raith Rovers will finish third. That's a magnificent season and we'll see you next year in the Championship. I think we've got to try and grasp this. And it may well be that will happen, but we've got to give it our best shot. And we've got to be every bit as determined. I think there's more pressure. Will that maybe make us a little bit more relaxed and play football? I hope so. That's what I would like to happen. I would hope that, you know, it doesn't get to us and it does get to the others who may be feeling the heat. You know, we've certainly been pleased with the way we've played. We're not going to change now. And we're hoping that that's going to take us through.
Hi, John. Good to see you looking well.
Hi, Matthew. You good? How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. As you touched on earlier, this has never been done by a team finishing third before going up via the playoffs, but do you feel that you've built a squad? I know you strengthened in January as well. Do you feel you've built a squad to cope with these 6 games? And does maybe a shortened season help in this regard as well?
Yeah, obviously does, because we'd have played another 9 games. And so the shortened season would definitely help. And from that point of view, when you come to play the Premier League team, it's maybe not such a big advantage this year based on other years because they've played a full programme. So yeah, it's probably an advantage. We did add in players in January, and I think that's been part of how we've got into the playoffs because we managed to get things round there when we're playing midweek games. You know, we're playing a lot of midweek games, Tuesday, Saturday, and now we're going to go into that situation again. And I think we have got the squad that are more than capable of doing this. Yeah, it's never been done before, and again, I like that kind of challenge. You know, I like that kind of challenge because it stacks up really well. When you look back and years to come and say, "Oh, Raith were the first team to do that," that would be another sort of tick in the box, something that you would be very, very proud of. So that is a challenge. Hopefully, we can do it. If everyone, you know, here, every single person has been involved, backs each other. We get that togetherness, we get that team spirit. I like to, you know, the way we play football that we can play, and getting that little bit of rugby green in front of goal. Then you just never know.